At this time, I'd like to welcome the man who has made it all possible for Temptu, Mr. J.P. McCary. J.P., thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure, Mr. Blasco.
It's my pleasure to have you here. You know, for many years, I have watched advertising from Temptu, and I've been very impressed watching and studying and seeing the growth of the company. It's quite amazing what you've done, what you and your team have done. And now seeing the latest products that you have is even more amazing. You know, it's great to see the fruits of your labor, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You know, let's talk about your career here. Now, your career spans for how many years total?
I've been in the business for about 12 years.
12 years.
Yes.
And 10 of those years, you were working. Wait, no, let me see. I think I got it wrong at the beginning of the show. You've not been 10 years with Temptu, but those 10 years prior to Temptu, right? Or prior to Temptu, working with the other cosmetic brands. In what way did working with these other large brands help you to bring Temptu to the position that it is today?
You know, I've been really blessed. I've gotten to work with a lot of luxury brands and a lot of brands that are really focused on artistry and understanding that artistry is really what kind of motivates people and inspires people. You know, everyday women through the celebrity, through the film and TV crews, it's all about kind of inspiration, and I've been able to work for brands that have that. And one of the great things about Temptu is our president, Michael Benjamin, is constantly looking for people who inspire, people who are great at their craft, people who bring something to the table. And I was in a very fortunate situation and was very blessed to work with someone like Michael, and he's constantly guiding me and, you know, really helping me kind of take Temptu to the next level. And I think one of the great things about where Temptu is now is Temptu's been around 28 years. And over the last few years, under the direction of Mr. Benjamin, you've seen an amazing growth within the brand.
How many years?
28 years Temptu has been around.
And how long has he been with the company?
Michael's been on and off with the company for about 15 years, but he's really been heading the company and really pushing it forward for the last 4 years.
Yes.
And I've been there 1 year, and one of the great things about Michael is that he understands about really working towards greatness and pushing all of us that way. So it really is a great honor to work with someone like him.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's achieving excellence.
Absolutely.
In absolutely everything that you do.
Absolutely.
Every moment.
And that's crucial for us. I mean, there's a lot of competition out there, and there's a lot of brands out there that really claim to be the best and really work to be the best.
Yes.
And one of the things that's great about us is we are the best. We have the best product, the best equipment, award-winning formulas.
Yes.
It truly is an honor to work with Temptu.
Yes. Excellent. Now, you are a makeup artist.
Absolutely.
And what form of makeup do you do? Beauty makeup, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you do effects makeup or?
I
any of
don't,
the others?
and that's one of the reasons you might see my name on an attendance form, on an application form soon. That's one thing I want to learn, and it's something that I have such respect for. But my primary focus has been beauty, editorial, and a lot of fashion.
Excellent, excellent. And lately, because of the newly developed, HD systems and the soon-to-be Super HD system, this type of makeup application, the style of makeup application, the method of makeup application is almost a vital part of what is happening. Obviously, there are makeup artists that can still apply, and you can still apply makeup conventionally, and skillfully. But this is such a great new tool, and it's so fast. And you have instantaneous naturalness right from the very beginning.
Absolutely.
And softness of application, which is I admire very much.
Yeah.
Now, it seems to me that I didn't know that Temptu had been around that many years, for 28 years.
Yeah.
But it's come to my attention within the past 8 years.
Yeah.
It seems to have really taken the forefront.
Absolutely.
In airbrush makeup products
Yeah.
and education. And what I'd like to do is, at this moment, I'd really like to invite you and your company, the Temptu company, and your artists to be part of what we're creating on the makeupspace.com. You may not know this. I'm sure that it was the very first airbrush makeup, and we were scared to death when we did this. I was approached by ABC Television. One of the makeup artists over there said, we've just got this call from a fellow by the name of Dennis Hoey, who is an airbrush artist, and he claims that he can do makeup with an airbrush. And they said, can you make airbrush makeup? And apparently, I don't know what he had been using to that time. And I said, yeah, I think I can do that. So he came over to me, and I began formulating this airbrush makeup, which was an offshoot of what we called at that time Hansen-Neck. It was a special product that we had formulated that had an acrylic copolymer in it, which would be a film-forming copolymer that you could spray it on, and it would set, but it would give you enough working time to be able to do what you wanted to do. And so I made this stuff, and because this was brand new, and I thought to myself, you know, I don't know, this is going to be sprayed, it's going to go into the air, people are going to be breathing this, you know, it could go into their eyes, this has never been done before. And I'm thinking, I better put a disclaimer on the back of the bottle because I don't want people turning around and suing Joe Blasco Cosmetics or ABC Television. So I had this long disclaimer. It must have been this big on the back of the bottle, right? All five. You needed a magnifying glass to be able to read it. You know, these were the early days. What did we know? You know, we didn't know that it was harmless.
Airbrush has gone a long way.
Exactly, exactly. And so I did this, and then later I also manufactured the product for Dyna from Dynair. And so I was kind of at the pioneering, you know, forefront of this. And then Dyna, of course, she went on and did her own thing. And but now there's Temptu. And Temptu, I know I've compared Temptu to so many other products on the market. And what I like about this is that there's different formulas that you have. You know, some set up quickly, others you can maneuver around a little bit. You know, it gives you a lot of flexibility as an artist, which I love. And so what I'd like you to do at this moment, if you would be to explain the difference between the different formulations.
Well, one of the things that I think is really crucial to understand about airbrushing is that it has evolved in so many different ways, not only from equipment, but down to formula and all of those pieces. And the way that I look at airbrushing, to be very honest, is I look at it as another brush in my tool belt. There are times that I'll do conventional makeup, still pull that out. There are times I'll just airbrush foundation, or maybe I'll just airbrush blush. But for me as an artist, absolutely. For me as an artist, it's about what do I need to achieve the result that I want. And one of the great things and brilliant things about Temptu is that we actually have 4 different formulas. Our most popular formula, our award-winning formula, is our beauty formula. It's called silicone base. It's called SB makeup, and it just leaves this beautiful kind of glow to the skin, this natural dewiness. You don't need a lot of makeup, but it gives this beautiful finish, which is one of the benefits of airbrushing. And what I also love about that formula is you can apply it by hand.
Are you wearing that today?
I am wearing it. You called me out.
He looks so
I am. I am wearing it today. But that's what I love about the SB formula is that you can do anything. You can airbrush it, you can apply it by hand, you can use it on the eyes. Whatever you want to do, you can do with the formula. And that is our award-winning, most popular formula we make. We also have a water-based formula, which is great for skin. It's used a lot behind the scenes on for TV shows, news anchors, things like that. They love that formula because it gives a really kind of matte. Beautiful finish. But it doesn't look happy.
Do you get more coverage with it?
You can get more coverage with it because it's easier to layer. I mean, the beauty of SB is you can layer.
You can get as much coverage as
you
you
can
want.
Build up as much as you want. But of course, as you know, when something's more of a matte texture, you're going to naturally get more of an opaque finish.
It's going to reflect less.
Absolutely. So you can just build aqua beautifully, and we have that in 12 skin tone shades. We have great blushes and highlighters that complement our aqua formula. But really, where we began 28 years ago, we didn't start off as an airbrush company. We actually started off as a temporary tattoo company.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's how we started with our formula called Dura, which is an alcohol-based paint. It's used a lot in special effects and prosthetics, tattoo coverage, things like that. It's really popular. Stays on the skin for 3 days. We have over 290 colors. It's really an amazing formula, and it's incredibly popular.
And this formula is being used by prosthetics, special makeup effects artists.
Absolutely, yeah. It's used a lot for movies, films. It's really popular on Broadway, a lot of the musicals that are running right now, because it stays on. It's so long-lasting.
You said on Broadway. Yeah. I have to thank this man and the Temptu company for flying you out here for this interview.
Oh, yeah.
It's very flattering to us to know that you came out here just to do this.
Well, Mr. Blasco, I have to tell you, I'm amazed by the operation you have here, what you do, what you mean to this industry, what your company, what your schools mean. It's truly an honor to be here.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks.
I feel that what we need to do now is to, aside from talking about the products and the consistency, we need to talk about these fantastic airbrush systems, the equipment So can you, let's talk about this piece of equipment right here.
Well, this is our S1 compressor. This is compressor, it's about 4 pounds. Unfortunately, it's connected to this unit.
They thought I was going to steal.
You never know, they're so hot, you never know. I'll give you one with a great smile.
We'll use it in our class.
There you go. But this is our S1 compressor. It's one that's been around the longest. It's great for body. You can use it for face also. Light special effects, light body work, things like that.
Yes.
It's a wonderful compressor.
Yes.
The PSI, you have an absolute range and control over to really achieve any result that you want.
Now, when you say light body work, you mean just body makeup to give a nice...
Yeah, body contour, body highlighting.
Exactly.
You can also do, of course, with stencils, if you wanted to do stencil work on the body. It's great for filling in tattoos. You really have a great control with this compressor. This is kind of like that go-to compressor that everyone should have, that everyone should plug in and use.
So this one's a little loud.
This one is a little bit more on the loud
side.
side.
So this you use in the lab, or you use this in the makeup trailer, or you use this away from the set?
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of this compressor, though, and the reason that this is a Temptu dedicated compressor, and this is a compressor that we're quite proud of because we made it where it wasn't so loud. I do use this often when I'm working backstage, shooting editorial campaigns, things like that.
So it's not that abrasive.
It's not that loud. It's not one of those that people are going to be bothered by. You might hear it, but you're going to easily move on and keep doing what you're doing.
It becomes a mantra.
Absolutely. It's actually quite calming if you ask me. It's quite zen-like at times. Maybe that's because I've been doing it for so long. But our newest compressor, and one that our president has been working on with such fervor and such passion, is our Temptu air compressor. This compressor weighs about 2 pounds, and that's with the battery. So the beauty of this compressor is that it's extremely soft. That's the battery, so you can plug it right into the wall and not work without the battery. But this is the most powerful, longest lasting compressor on the market for airbrush. And the reason that I love it, it just snaps right on. Perfect. The reason that I love this compressor is it's so light.
Yeah,
exactly.
Really lightweight.
We make a great shoulder strap. This is what I use when I'm on set, when I want to do touch-ups, things like that. It just makes my life so much easier. It's perfect kind of portability and on the go.
Amazing. And it's very quiet.
Absolutely. It's quiet and it's easy.
It's actually running right now. No, just kidding.
It's not that quiet.
Not that quiet.
But one of the things I love about this, because as an artist, as you know, our bags, our makeup kits are so heavy. One of the things I love about this compressor is that I literally can have this in my bag. I'm not adding all this extra weight to my kit. I can literally just pull it out when I want to. That's, again, the beauty of airbrushing, is I look at it as another brush in my tool belt.
You know, I've seen a lot of the guys running around with like a holster type. That you can put.
Absolutely, we have that. We have a shoulder strap.
Does this go onto a belt, perhaps?
It actually just goes on a shoulder strap. It's a silicone bag that this goes inside, so it's extremely durable. It's going to last forever. You still have absolute control over your PSI, which is here. You're from a 0 all the way up to a maximum pressure that you could do light body work with also. This really is an amazing compressor. It's been on the market for about 5 months at Temptu, and every time we have it in stock, it sells out. The response has just been amazing. Because people want something that's easy. They want something that's light. They want something that they can pull out when they want it, when they want to use it, and this is a great compressor for that.
Tell me some of the studios, let's say, television-wise or networks, that are using Temptu products.
Yeah, Entertainment Tonight came to us and asked when they did all of their HD changeover and built the new studio for HD. We worked with them to make sure that they're properly set up for makeup applications. CNN, we're constantly used on sets for some of the biggest hit biggest hit TV shows out there, Gossip Girl, Ugly Betty. We have such a great following of people who love airbrush because it's easy, it gives wonderful results under high def, and as you know, as an artist, high def is something we all have to deal with, we all have to understand. We have to be masters at it. So that's why airbrushing has really picked up over the last few years. But you can go anywhere and find Temptu being used. It's such a popular product. I mean, in the last year, we have seen our airbrush business double. And I know that's very sales focused, but the reason I say that is I think it reinforces how important airbrushing is becoming in terms of an artist needing to know how to do it.
Let's regress for a moment. And let's go back 20 years ago. When other makeup artists were saying, Oh, no airbrush, no airbrush. No, I believe that they were putting airbrush down for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
Number one, they didn't know.
Yeah.
There was no testing about the breathing of the vapors, et cetera, et cetera. And the second thing is that they didn't want to learn it.
Yeah.
You know, they were, a lot of the older guys, they wanted to stay with the conventional sponge and whatnot. And that's fine too.
Yeah.
No problem
Absolutely.
with that. But the concerns that we had concerning the safety of working with an airbrush have since then been evaluated and alleviated.
Yeah.
Right?
One of the things that's so great to know is the things that scare us are the things that we tend to stay away from or not talk about. So I agree with your two reasons. And one of the things that has been proven.
There are more. I'm sure there are more
There
reasons.
are more, but those are
Right.
two of the big ones.
Right.
And one of the things that I find really interesting is over the years, airbrushing has kind of stood the test of time.
Yes.
It's become more and more popular.
Yes.
We constantly at Temptu are testing our product. We're making sure that it is safe and that it's great for the skin. It's dermatologically
Yes.
tested. All of these pieces, because that's crucial for us.
Right.
And one of the things that's great too is if you look at these other brands like MAC or other brands like that, they now offer airbrush products also.
Yes.
They understand it.
Absolutely. Inhalation
Yeah.
of the vapors.
Yeah.
To what degree has that been researched and tested and proven to be acceptable and fine?
We have done, and not just Temptu, but the airbrush community has done a great deal of testing in terms of that. And one of the things that we are extremely focused on is the inhalation and making sure that it's safe. Of course, anytime you're using alcohol-based products, you want to make sure that you're in a well-ventilated room.
Yes.
Not even if you're hand applying it, you want to make sure that there's ventilation,
Yes.
especially when you're airbrushing it.
Yes.
So that's an extremely important thing to know, especially with alcohol-based products. One of the other keys with kind of this inhalation is the quality of the ingredients you're using. And we use, at Temptu, we use the highest quality grade silicone on the market. So we have done extensive testing to make sure that inhalation of our product is safe, it's actually good for the skin, it's not going to bother you. All of these pieces, we've made sure that we've tested that, and the response has been phenomenal. The dermatological testing that we've done proves that what we're doing is a very, very safe way of application.
That's excellent. That's really excellent because I can remember stuffing cotton up people's noses, and I worked a film called, you're going to find this funny. I worked a film called, and some of you out there may remember it, The Golden Seal. It was a Walt Disney picture, or no, it wasn't. I think it was Samuel Goldwyn. No, it was a Walt Disney picture, and it was being directed, I believe, by Samuel Goldwyn Jr. Anyway, make a long story short. They hired me because, I was the big special makeup effects somewhat wizard, and in certain, areas of the industry, and makeup artistry. And I went to the interview, and they said, we've got this seal, and everything revolves around the seal. If the seal isn't gold, we lose, our investment. Can you do it? I said, sure. I had no idea how I was going to do this. So I go out, and back then there was this liquid, I think it still may exist, it's called Final Net.
Okay.
Right, Final Net hairspray, right? And we bought gallons and gallons and gallons of it, and we put it in a big vat, and we went out and we bought particles of gold pigment, right? And we're mixing this into this thing and mixing into the Final Net, and we're putting it into spray guns and into airbrushes, and we're trying to get this thing to work. And we couldn't get the seal to cooperate, right? Wow. So we ended up having to get the trainer to come in, and they had to somewhat, not anesthetize, but he had to like hypnotize the seal or do something with the seal to keep him like occupied while we would mask his eyes and spray this on. And I would be spraying this this liquid, right? And I'm saying, and I'm looking at this, I'm spraying it, it's not turning gold, right? And I said, well, we've got gold pigment in it, why isn't it gold? I'm thinking, I got to take a break. So I walked away. We were at this farm out in the middle of Tahunga or someplace up in the valley, where this animal ranch where we were doing all the experiments. And they had this big water trough, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I go back to my assistant, I say, Jesus, I said, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. This stuff isn't turning gold, right? I've sprayed as much on as I can. The poor seal is gonna gag, So I turned around, and the seal had jumped into the water, and I heard this huge applause, a round of applause. And I turned around and I looked, and here was this seal's head sticking out of the water. Gold, as gold could be. So it was the water, it just needed to compress all of the gold, right?
And you knew that the whole
Oh,
time.
I knew that the whole time, baby. Anyway.
If only you had had Temptu Dura Gold Shimmer back then,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
wouldn't have had anything to
just
worry
like
about.
that, it would have worked just perfectly. Right? Anyway, listen, this is all really, really terrific, and I think we've really touched on a lot of wonderful points here that needed to be discussed, and I think that what I want to do right now, honestly, is to have you, if you could tell me a little bit about the care and the maintenance, like high points that Temptu recommends with their equipment, with the airbrush, for instance. Because some of the artists say, oh, we take a little drop of mineral oil and you put it in and blah, 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 and it cleans the brush. How do you recommend that the airbrush be maintained and kept up for optimum performance?
It's a great question, and to be honest, I think that's one of the biggest areas of opportunity for educating. Because for me, before I was airbrushing, when I was just offering conventional makeup, I thought, oh, it's going to be so difficult to clean my gun. It's going to take too long, all of these things. It was one of those things that kind of scared me away from it. But one of the beautiful things about Temptu is that we've actually created a cleanser for every formula that you use of ours. So we have cleansers that literally make it, you just run it through the gun like you do, just like you put on foundation through the airbrush gun. You just put a little bit of the cleanser that matches the formula you used, and it literally cleans the gun for you. Yeah, so we've made that easier. Of course, we recommend deep cleansing after a full day's worth of use, but we've made it really simple as a way, just like you have to clean your brush when you're done with it before you pick up another color. We've made it that easy with airbrushing.
Fantastic. Let's talk about these powders here that I see.
Yeah.
What are these?
These are beautiful. These are actually our invisible difference powders, available in 3 different shades, and these are made to go with our silicone-based formula. They have a silicone-based ingredient in it. All of our formula that has silicone has equal amounts of water in the formula. So one of the things that we did with our powder and with our concealer wheel, we wanted to make sure that they complement the formula.
Yeah.
So these are all silicone-based and water-based powders. We also have our concealer wheel, which is silicone-based. And these you just use where needed. One of the beautiful things about the SB formula, it's so fine, it's so sheer.
Incredibly sheer.
Yeah.
Really, really fine.
And that's the beauty of it, because with airbrushing, you want it to look natural.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we wanted to create a powder that gave that same effect, but just kind of mattified the skin, all of those pieces. So this is our invisible difference powder. We have it in 3 different shades.
Now, so there's 3 shades.
Yeah.
A light, a medium, I would think,
And
and
a
a
dark.
dark.
Yeah.
Right, light, medium, and dark. And I would say that the light is used with colors from light to medium.
Absolutely.
And maybe the medium is used with colors from medium to dark, and then the dark from dark and beyond.
Yeah.
And in that way, you're actually using these powders as a translucent powder.
Absolutely.
Okay, because they're working in conjunction with the actual value of the foundation.
And that's the reason we only have 3 of them, is because they
That's
are
all you
exactly
need. Yeah,
meant
that's
to
all
be
you need.
used that way.
That's all you need. Now they are definitely very neutral in tone. They're not yellowish or reddish. They are extremely neutral. Very nice.
Yeah.
And here you have this is what? This is
This is our concealer wheel.
this doesn't come out.
It should pull right out.
Let me see. Here we go.
There you go.
This is a really nice container.
Yeah, this is amazing. This has 5 different concealers in it so that we can mix and match. And one of the beautiful things about this, literally I'll use this often, not just for concealer under the eye, I'll use it when I want even more coverage, when I want to kind of go in and really spend and dedicate time to a certain area with buildable coverage. And you can mix the foundation right into this. So you can mix among these 5 colors that we give you, but you can also mix your foundation right into there if you need to kind of alter it. And we also have adjusters. Temptu makes adjusters for all of our lines. We have red adjusters, we have blue, we have green, yellow.
Which change the undertone
Absolutely.
of the color.
Yeah, so I can match any skin with our adjusters, and with these 5 shades, I can meet anyone's needs.
Yeah, these are actually good flesh tones as well.
Yeah.
Skin tones.
Oh, absolutely.
These are really terrific. But they have just the right amount of an orange undertone to pull out the blueness and any shadows under the eyes. And they're light enough and dark, light enough for lighter skins and dark enough for the darker skins. These are excellent. They're
Yeah.
excellent. Very, very
This
nice.
is something we're very proud of. This has done incredibly well for us, and there's a lot of key makeup artists all over the country that use the concealer wheel almost on a daily basis, even if they're just needing a little bit of foundation coverage.
Yes.
They'll use that, mix it with a little bit of the SB foundation
Yes.
for a sheer
Yes.
application, and just apply
Yes.
that almost like kind of a cover stick all over the face,
Yeah.
and that's all. They'll go right to a powder, and then they'll be done.
Yes. Now, is there a specific brush that you recommend for the application?
For us at Temptu, we actually don't make
Do you have brushes?
brushes. We don't make our own line of brushes.
Neil has a fantastic line of
I
brushes.
love her
I
brushes.
have a little line of brushes.
Yeah, yes, you do, and I actually have some in the back there that we'll be using later. But the brush really for me is about options. It's about
Yes.
what type of shape do you want, how big
Yes.
do you want it to be, and we really are the premier airbrush company.
Yes.
So we've decided to leave brush making to the geniuses like you and like the V. Neils of the world, and really focus on what we do, and which is airbrushing. And so for me, it's all about options when it comes to brushes. I open my brush roll and I have probably 75 brushes.
Right,
Do I use them all? No, but I like to know that they're there in case I need a special effect.
Exactly.
So that's really how we approach our brushing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And these products here, this here,
This is a primer, actually. This you put on before makeup. It's a silicone-based primer.
this is put on with the airbrush as well?
This is actually applied by hand.
By hand.
This is the only product in our SB
With a
line.
sponge?
Exactly.
A
with
dry sponge or a wet sponge?
We actually prefer with a dry sponge. And you need very little of this product, and you just put it all over the face, very sheer application. And what this does, as you'll be able to tell, it's quite sheer when you blend it into the skin. And it literally makes the skin just kind of have this beautiful glow. But the beauty of it is once you put the foundation on top of this or the blush and highlighter on top of this, it really grabs it so that it's going to stay on, it's going to last. You know, the benefits of silicone are the longevity, the fact that it absorbs excess oil, and what this primer does is it really reinforces those key traits of silicone. And this you can use all over the face, including on the eyes, if you wanted to put this before you put on
And this
eyeshadow.
also creates a movable surface area if you need to move
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
And every artist, no
great.
matter how great you are, it's not bad to have an extra 2 or 3 seconds of movability.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've built that in.
Now, let's say you're working with the dry formula,
Yeah.
all right, and you've applied it, and you want some additional highlightation in specific areas.
Yeah.
Could you take this
Oh, yeah.
and pat it perhaps with a sponge?
Absolutely.
You know, and work it in.
Yeah.
It won't remove the makeup, right?
It doesn't break it down. That's the beauty of it. But really, for something like that, we've created something called a mixing medium, which is this product here.
Yes.
And what this is this is the exact base of our silicone product.
Yes.
So you can use this before, you can use this after, but the genius of this is that it's the base of all of our SB line. You can actually mix loose pigment eyeshadows
Into it and create
this
your own
and then
colors.
airbrush,
Oh,
and you can
fantastic.
airbrush them right on.
Yeah, right.
So at Temptu, it's not just about foundation, blush,
Yes.
and highlighter.
Yes.
We have products for brows. We have an entire brow collection that come with stencils, so you can airbrush brows on. We have fantasy colors. We have adjusters. Like that's our soft black color. So we have something for everyone.
You know, it's great to finally meet you and to be able to speak to someone from Temptu. I don't know. I know that our audience out there, who is those who have been watching MUA TV religiously, have seen my makeup moments where I talk about Temptu products and all. And I was talking to Travis Pates, my assistant, my associate, and one of the makeup artists here. And I told him, I said, you know, let's talk to these people. I'd really like to bring them in because number one, I like the product.
Yeah.
I love the product. And I like the way they're representing it and the way they are being very artistic and creative with the manufacturing and with the presentation of it and all. And I loved the makeup that I saw in the ads that you have. So I believe he spoke to someone in your company,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
here we are.
Yeah.
It's really terrific.
And you know, for us, one of the things that's really crucial at Temptu is the thought that our celebrity is the makeup artist. We are nothing without the makeup artist community loving our product. We have a pro team across the country that we really look to help understand the needs out there. What are the professionals wanting? We're working on new formulas that have never been done before. We're working on this amazing mineral-based airbrush makeup. It's never been done. All of these things.
Powder?
Yeah, it's
a spray powder.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's quite see, that's the reaction I want. If I get that
Piqued
from
my
you, that
interest.
makes me
That's
happy.
very good.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we really are working on to make sure that the pro can come to us and that we're able to meet their every need.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I really missed the boat with that mineral makeup thing. And you know why? Because I know the people at the lab where the stuff is made, right? And I can't help but think that somebody somewhere along the line read my book, and in my book, yeah, it's all the cosmetic companies are buying the book because it's like all the
course
secrets,
they are.
all the secrets are there.
Of course.
And they're let me see, what is it? What about this? What about that? Wow, check this out. Maybe we can use this information. We can make something. So I can't help but think that because for the first time in this book, I really, really in depth discuss the secret of high pigmented makeup, and it's all about pigment, 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 and pigment. Yep. And the thing is that as I continued to say, well, we decreased the amount of oil and wax vehicle, which you call base. We decreased the amount of oil and wax. And we found that the more we decreased the amount of oil and wax and the more dry pigment we ended up with, the better coverage we had, right?
Absolutely.
So I didn't go the next step. The next step would be to completely take the oil and wax out, right? So they jumped on it. JP, I want to thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks.
And we'll do this again.
I look forward to it.
All right, and now we're going to do a makeup demo.
Yeah.
Are you doing the demo? You're
I
going to
am.
do the demo as
Yeah.
well.
Yes.
All right? You people out there are really going to want to pay attention to this. This is going to be really fantastic. And you're going to, at the end of this show, you're going to see a card that is going to direct you to the Temptu actual site where you can go online and purchase the Temptu products, and you'll be glad that you did. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Blasco for MUA-TV, signing off with the Temptu master here, JP McCary. Don't you go away, we've got a lot more makeup and hair, and especially your demo, right after this.